This monster of a filter just arrived. So now I can throw this one away to the trash. Just joking, I will put it aside. I still consider AQUAEL Biomaster to be one of the best filters. However, I just wanted a bigger alternative for my 30-foot tank. You see that it's ready to aquascape it, and this AQUAEL ULTRAMAX looks like the best filter for the job. Why the best one? First of all, it's very cheap.
At least in my country it is. Got mine for about 130 euro.
It has a huge capacity, but I will talk about all the pros and cons of ULTRAMAX series in this video.
On the box we have plenty of information. The water circuit, what tanks are they made for, and other specs. The difference between these three filters is just the hose's diameter and the number of baskets.
For me as a Biomaster user, the most important thing is to have a detachable pre-filter. And ULTRAMAX provides just that. Besides doing the unboxing, I will also try to show you the best configuration so you can make the most out of this. Like in any filters, inside you have a user guide. I haven't bought the biggest model, the 2001, because that one comes with a larger hoses. And I already have some lily pipes, clear hose and a CO2 diffuser for a 22 by 16 diameter hose. This one that I have here has 4 baskets. The smaller one has 3 and the bigger one has 5 with an additional filter floss basket. As filter media we have some decent ones, some crappy ones and some materials that are in between. Just like these ceramic rings, they are quite porous. Probably not as porous as Cerasiporax. However, compared to the simple MAC ones, they will definitely help us out with the biological filtration. At least a little bit. But I will still replace them with my own Matrix and Eheim Substrat Pro.
We still have room for 2 bags of chemical filtration, Masterline Purity. If you can't find it in your country, you can use activated charcoal, Secum Purigen or whatever you prefer, or you can even use plain biological media in all your trays.
This filter floss, it's a crap. It has an awful smell. I will throw it away. But the foam are quite decent. I think I will keep this fine to medium sponge. I will place it at the bottom, so whatever leaves unclean by the pre-filter will first hit this fine sponge. I call it fine, but it's more like medium. This way I make sure that everything that hits my actual biological filtration is perfectly clean. I've arranged all the media to visually see how I would set up my filter. So from the bottom to the top, the mechanical filtration, then 2, 3 or even 4 trays of biological media.
How much media? Well, this sponge has a volume of exactly 1.9 liters. But will a basket accommodate the same amount of matrix? Let's see. The black mark on the plastic cup, it's for 2 liters. A gentle shake to squeeze more media inside, and we have a snug fit. You can see those basket holders, they are plugged in the right position, and we still have about 100 milliliters of biomedia left. So we managed to fill it with 1.9 liters. Unfortunately, this filter doesn't have a built-in heater, but you can add one to the hose if you don't like to have one inside the tank. This would be our first downside. However, it has a better hose unit instead of a single block. That was the Biomaster's weak spot and the reason for water leaks. You can see this one is broken due to the ultra thin plastic in the O-ring section. With Ultramax we have two individual ones, so we can remove just one hose at a time. The flow reduction must be made as AQUAEL state, just from the output one, so we won't force our filter. When we completely close this tap, the water is trapped inside the hose. This way, the filter priming will be much easier. Now I open it, just to show you how to clean this unit if needed. When you insert it in the place for the first time, you need to use some brute force. Don't worry, just shove it inside. Afterwards will be much easier. It has a pair of handles to lift the canister up and transport it. Also has something that I haven't seen before in other filters, two sets of clamps. Or clips, don't know how to call them. After you open 3 out of the first set of 4, the one behind is still closed, you have access to a pre-filter, but the other set of 4 clips keeps your main canister sealed. To open the main canister, you need to open the smaller grey clips also. We'll get to that later, but what I like about this type of pre-filter is that now, unlike the biomaster canisters, I don't have to tilt my canister to pull out the pre-filter from the cabinet. Here we have the pre-filter basket. Inside of it we have a coarse sponge, about 10 ppi, just like the original ones from biomaster pre-filters. Looks like the same quality. The water comes inside at the bottom, right where that white one-way valve is. Then the water will spread evenly, because of those elevated plates. This way there is a greater surface between dirty water and the sponge. Then it goes upwards through the sponge. After that, the water, partially cleaned by the pre-filter, will go down through the center of our trays, right at the bottom of the canister. Then the water will rise, pass through biological media, and exit our filter clean. Here's the check valve that I've mentioned before. However, be careful when you take out the sponge, the valve can fall off and you can lose it. This feature isn't built smart at all in my opinion. For me this foam is too coarse. I will cut a piece of fine sponge, either from this pad or from my old biomaster red sponge. However, if you don't want to clean your pre-filter too often, you can just leave it as it is, and will still trap a lot of heavy debris. You can see here we have our seal, this white O-ring, dedicated only for the pre-filter chamber. When you first use this filter, carefully check the positioning of the O-ring. Sometimes this can arrive all folded up or twisted. Mine was fine. But check it out, and the main canister seal too. Now, even after we open our last black clip, we still can't pop open the lid of the filter. For that, we need to unlock our last set of clips, the grey ones. Only now we have access to the main chamber of the filter. Here we have the propeller. It isn't hard to take it out for a clean, it's quite intuitive, so I won't insist about that topic. The bucket itself is strongly built. It also has some elevated blades on the bottom. This way, the water will have a good distribution before reaching the trays. And with the way baskets are built, we have a perfect water distribution. You can keep a sponge at the bottom if you want, this one or the black one. I personally go biological media only. This way I surpass the capacity of a biomaster 850 for about half the price, with a similar water flow and less power used. It's quite easy to put baskets together. They are flexible but strongly built. And with the handles on the sides, not on the center of the trays, like in other filters, we have more space for our media. These baskets from biomaster filter are also flexible, but the bottom part is rigid and bends in time. AQUAEL baskets seems better. This is the main O-ring. As other YouTubers suggest, you need to verify if it is well placed before the first use. We have some silicone lubricant, provided by AQUAEL to apply on the seals. Pull on these to prime the filter. I can feel the air going inside from here and getting out there.
There is something that I really dislike about this filter, that it's located inside this box. So let's open it up, let's find out what I don't like.
It comes with two transparent grey hoses 22 by 16 mm. They are 1.5 meters long or 5 foot. I personally consider the 4 meter long one from Biomaster a better choice. I prefer to portion out my hose the way I like, so the Ultramax ones don't help me too much. Doesn't matter, I will use my own clear hoses anyway.
But what the hell is this crap? What is this piece of shit? Probably some user won't dislike this kind of intake, or maybe not even this modular spray bar. However, these for me are useless. Completely unaesthetical and even very dangerous.
Tiny fish and shrimp can get stuck because of this kind of intake and die. I will use this Neo Shrimp protector to make some kind of DIY intake.
If you have a bigger budget and you still want to buy a oase Biomaster because it's trending, or because it has a built-in heater, or simply because it still is the best user-friendly filter out there, then you want to check out this video. It's about Biomaster 1 and also the new Biomaster 2 with the new improvements. Just click on this box and don't let me hanging with my hands in the air and make a fool of myself this way.
We'll put this badass to work as soon as I aquascape the tank. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss my first impression on the filter.